The sport of boxing has received some very good news. It seems that Naoya Inoue versus Stephen Fulton has a very strong probability of happening next year. Here's the quick preview for this potentially outstanding fight. Naoya Inoue has been a pro boxer for quite a bit. He has some very impressive accolades. He is a 3-weight champion and a former undisputed champion. He has done very good and has dominated all opposition. He is out of Japan. He has accomplished so much in his career, and he's been looking absolutely phenomenal. He has a record of 19-0 with 17 wins by KO in World Championship bouts. He has 9-0 with AKO for World Bantamweight title fights, 8-0 with 7 KOs for World Super Flyweight title fights, and 2-0 with 2 KOs for World Light Flyweight titles. He's beaten elite champions such as Ryuichi Taguchi, Adrian Hernandez, Omar Narvaez, Kohei Kono, Jamie McDonald, Juan Carlos Payano, Emmanuel Rodriguez, Nonito Donaire twice, and Paul Butler. He has a record of 4-0 with 4 KOs in fights outside of Japan. Stephen Fulton is a new guy in the block as he hasn't become too prominent until recent years. He has looked very good in his recent outings though. He has a record of 3-0 with 0 KOs in championship bouts. He is 2-0 with 0 KOs against current championship fighters. He has beaten elite names such as Arnold Kagai, Angelo Leo, Brandon Figueroa, and Daniel Roman. He is a very good fighter, phenomenal fundamentals. He can fight on the inside and the outside. And he's a naturally bigger man than Naoya Inoue, fighting at a higher weight class for a longer period of time. This fight is very difficult to predict, and there are many ways this fight can play out. Inoue can knock Fulton out. Fulton could outbox Inoue. Inoue could possibly outwork Fulton to a decision. The only outcome that is very unrealistic is Fulton stopping Inoue. However, that outcome wouldn't even be the most shocking. It'd be very surprising. However, I would have seen more shocking outcomes in the sport of boxing. Stephen Fulton has been looking better and better in his recent fights. Early in his career, he was a very sharp fighter and looked very good. However, in recent outings, he has looked very good. Against Daniel Roman, he nearly pitched a shutout in the judges' scorecards, something that Murujan Akhmadaliev was not even close to doing, as he won by split decision in a war. Yes, the Roman fight was closer and the scorecards had it, but Fulton looked very good, and it was the most dominant victory anyone's had against Daniel Roman in modern times. Naoya Inoue is coming off a career year, arguably the best year of his career, clearly the best year of his career for being honest, becoming an undisputed fighter, beating Nonito Donaire and Paul Butler, beating 2 champions. His record against championship fighters is phenomenal, and his record in championship bouts is tremendous. Many of us weren't sure what the next fight would be for Naoya Inoue. We all wanted to see him move up to 122 and take on a champion, but we didn't actually think there was a strong shot of it happening. But now it actually seems like the next fight will be against Stephen Fulton. Fulton is very sharp. He has better jab than Naoya Inoue. He's a bigger fighter. He has better footwork, arguably. He's definitely better on the back foot than Inoue is. Inoue's a better puncher. He's a better body puncher. He is arguably the stronger fighter, even though that is very close and very up for interpretation. Fulton might prove me wrong because Fulton is very physically strong as well. Fulton has better combination punching, arguably, while Inoue has better one-punch shots and better punch selection. Both fighters have very good chins. Both fighters are very durable. They're both prime, undefeated champions. The winner of this fight, without doubt, is very high in the pound-for-pound list. If Inoue wins this fight, he has a case for being number 1. If Fulton wins this fight, he has a very strong case to be in the top 5, the top 3. It's going to be a tremendous fight, and a fight where I've seen a lot of people debate on who they're actually favoring. It's a very tough fight to predict. It's a borderline 50-50. Both fighters have many ways and many paths to victory. Neither fighter has truly shown weakness in their bouts. Some people felt that Brandon Figueroa defeated Stephen Fulton. I disagree with that. Can't really Figueroa could have won that fight. I mean, there is a way, but I had to fight a draw personally. I did not see Figueroa winning. It was a very tough fight for Fulton, though, and much tougher of a fight than I expected. And if Brandon Figueroa is able to have that type of success against Fulton, it's very likely that Inoue will be able to as well. However, Stephen Fulton has improved since that fight, which is over a year ago. Against Daniel Roman, he looked much sharper. He picked the shots much better and won much more impressively. And Naoya Inoue, his main flawed outing was the first fight against Nonito Donaire, but keep in mind, this is a first ballot Hall of Famer in Donaire in his natural weight class and the performance Donaire's had in a very long time. Donaire looked very good after that win, absolutely decimating Nordine Bali. So Donaire is a very respectable win for Inoue, especially when he stopped him in the rematch. But the first fight, he had a lot of issues. His orbital bone got broken. He was badly hurt at one point in the fight, but he dug deep. He hurt Donaire late, dropped him late, and won a decision. Both fighters have been able to dig deep in adversity. Both fighters have shown leagues and leagues of talent, and the winner of this fight is truly the top dog in the sport, if not number 1 pound for pound, very high up there. It's going to be a tremendous fight. In my opinion, the best fight that's possibly set for next year, as no other massive fight has been close to being set. Lomachenko-Haney's kind of close, but not really. This is the fight that actually has a really good chance of happening, and it's a phenomenal fight, a great matchup. Everyone should support this fight. The winner of this fight, once again, is without doubt the best guy in the range of 115 to 130. I mean, this would arguably be pound for pound number one for Inoue if he wins this fight. It's a tremendous matchup. There's so many paths to victory. What I advise for both fighters, my first advice for Inoue is go to the body to slow Fulton's feet down, keep pressuring, use some head movement, slip that jab, because that jab is one of Fulton's most effective punches. If you could slip that jab consistently, get in close range, get to the body, and get Fulton on the ropes, it might be wraps for Stephen Fulton. If I'm Fulton, I'm going to keep throwing that jab. I'm going to go to the body as well to slow down Inoue's pressure. I'm going to throw combinations upstairs. I'm going to use the clinch to my advantage. I'm going to box a better fight. I would definitely use my reach if I was Stephen Fulton, as he has a 3-inch reach advantage. I would use his footwork, because he has phenomenal footwork, and he's very good on his bicycle, very good on the back foot. I would clinch, and I would fight on the counter, because Naoya Inoue does open himself up. His defense is pretty good, but it's not perfect. Fulton could definitely counter him, as he is a very good counter puncher. As well as I would recommend in the clinch for Fulton to throw uppercuts in the clinch. He was very good at doing that against Angelo Leo. If he's able to maintain that type of outing against Naoya Inoue, it'll look very good for Fulton. Go to the body, throw uppercuts. If I'm Naoya Inoue, keep pressuring, get Fulton on the ropes. This fight will be determined on if Fulton will be pushed on the ropes or not. If Inoue is able to consistently get Fulton on the ropes, he'll be able to win this fight. If Fulton's able to avoid the ropes, outmove Inoue, use his footwork, use his foot speed, it's very likely that he'll actually be able to pull off the upset and get the decision. It's a very tough fight to call, man. What I recommend for Fulton not to do not trade with Inoue. If he trades with Inoue, he will get stopped, he will get dropped at the minimum, and he will lose this fight. Yes, Fulton has traded in the past. We saw him trade with Brandon Figueroa, with Angelo Leo, but when he boxed against Daniel Roman, that's when he looked very sharp. That's when he was on his A game. If we get the Fulton that fought Daniel Roman, it's very likely that he's able to pull off this victory. If we get him trading, he's definitely going to lose. It's a very tough fight to call. He's the bigger fighter naturally. Fulton needs to lean on Inoue. He needs to use some physicality. He needs to clinch. He needs to throw that uppercut in the clinch. Now Inoue has to go to the body. He has to pressure forward. He has to get Fulton on the ropes. I would advise Inoue to throw his left hook. He has a very good hook as well. It's going to be such an intriguing fight with so many possibilities. One of the best fights that we've gotten in a very long time. I'm very happy we're getting it, and it's a very respectable fight without doubt. This fight should be fully supported. Both fighters get my full respect because they're both willing to take on the best, take on top challenges. There isn't too much to say here, aside from what I've told you guys. Fulton's fundamentals and speed and very slick defense and quick feet and combination punching versus Inoue's brute strength, his power, his accuracy, his punch placement, his chin, because I do believe Naoya Inoue has a very good chin. He's very durable. He's very tough. Both fighters have great gas tanks. They both come on strong in the later rounds. This fight is one of the best fights we've gotten in a very long time. I truly respect this fight. I hope it gets set. It's very close to being announced, but it hasn't been 100% set. If it does get made, I'll actually be very surprised that the PBC is putting Fulton in with Naoya Inoue. I didn't think they would do that, but if it happens, full respect to both parties. Fulton has to use his reach. He has to use that jab. Inoue has to use some head movement, has to incorporate it to slip that jab, and if he's able to properly do that and get into the inside, because this fight will be fought primarily on the inside, in my opinion. When it is fought on the inside, I feel Inoue will take over and will fight better, but if Fulton can keep this fight on the outside and clinch when Inoue gets too close, throw the uppercut on the inside, throw the jab, throw some combination punching on the outside, slip Inoue's work, he'll be comfortable. However, that shoulder roll, I don't trust against Inoue. I could see Inoue throwing a hook on the temple that lands perfectly while Fulton's trying to slip a shot, and I could definitely see him stopping Fulton in that type of exchange. I'm not going to give away my exact prediction. However, there's two ways that it can go. It can, honestly, as I've said, there's three ways it can go. Inoue by decision or stoppage, or Fulton by decision. This fight very well may end up being a draw. This fight will truly show us, though, is Naoya Inoue the level of fighter that he's been getting received as from the fans. Many people have him pound for pound 1 or 2. If he's pound for pound number 1 or 2, I believe he'll defeat Stephen Fulton. Is he truly on that level, though? I believe he is, but that doesn't mean he'll beat Fulton. Styles make fights. Fulton's very sharp. He's a big guy. He has very good defense, great counter punching. He's quick. He has good footwork. This will by far be the toughest fight for Naoya Inoue and the best opponent on his career. This, in my opinion, is probably the highest weight class Inoue can go, 122. Anything above this, he might be too small. But against Stephen Fulton, if he beats Stephen Fulton, it would be a tremendous win. Naoya Inoue, who is already guaranteed to be in the Hall of Fame, would be without doubt even more solidified as a first ballot Hall of Famer. Phenomenal fight, great for the sport. It's going to be a true battle. It's going to be a true back and forth fight with many fighters having varying success. And I want to know what you guys think. Tell me your thoughts down below. Tell me your exact prediction. Do you guys think Inoue will knock Fulton out? Do you think Fulton will beat him by decision? Do you think it will be a very close fight as it goes on. Tell me your thoughts down below. Thanks for watching. Follow me on Twitter, all one word, Mighty Max Boxing. I'll see you guys later. Peace.